This secret book belongs to a girl, Miyako Kimi, age 21, likes manga, books, video games and music, aspiring game artist. Dear Diary, I thought it would be good to get some education in over the winter and coming spring while I search for work, and I found a place. It's only open for 112 days and starts on a Tuesday for some reason. Today was my first day there, my first day at Monorisu Daigaku. I was so nervous this morning. I had no idea when I should be arriving or what I had time to do before, so I did jumping jacks until I couldn't anymore. Even though I don't really do sports, everyone was standing outside of the school. I guess 7:30 is the right time to come. I approached a girl and before I could speak she told me the rumors aren't true. I didn't know what the rumors were and tried to talk to her about books. She walked away and when she entered the school I took that as my sign to be quiet. Seeing another girl I tried to talk to her but she went inside, and the same thing happened one more time, so I decided to see if anyone was lingering out the front. There were two girls and one of them, Namboku Yuko, instantly started talking about books. Spoilers, Namboku and I became pretty close. She recommended some good fantasy novels, and some good music and games. I actually didn't realize the bell for English class had gone until I checked the time. Namboku sits only 2 seats away from me in English. After class I tried to talk to a girl named Park Mill Iam, but it was awkward and I couldn't find things we both liked or knew about, so I went back to Namboku who was standing with one of the girls I tried to talk to this morning. She likes novels too. She was just ignoring me. Park came over while we were talking and I started losing track of the conversation. But the girl who ignored me left and Namboku, Park and I started talking about video games. Again I lost track of time and was a bit late getting to home economics. When that class was over I tried talking the girl that sat next to me. It didn't start very well but I think we got along in the end. I heard Namboku talking outside the classroom and went to take a look. She was with 2 other people. I tried to join in by talking about books and one of the girls really didn't like them. So I tried to suggest books she might like but the bell went and I ran to get to class on time, though I admit I got a little distracted in the hallway. Before my last class I saw a girl peering down the hallway and realized she was looking at the girls I kind of know. I like how their hairs match each other's clothes. When I approached them one walked away and then the other yelled reading is for nerds, so I thought that would be a great opportunity to talking to her. I think our conversation was constructive. We started walking and talking down the hall together when I spotted the girl I talking to. This morning, looking down the hallway, I only had time for a few words though, and before I knew it I was back home writing this. Now I think I'm going to do some art and maybe try a puzzle game Namboku mentioned. Good night. Dear Diary, last night I had a dream where I went on a lunch date with classmate from high school. I don't know who they were supposed to be though. This morning I read a horror manga volume and got to school the same time as yesterday. I ran over to Namboku who told me later I could call her Yuko, and told her all about the recommendations I tried from her. I found out she's pretty into fitness, which I really don't understand. I'd much rather write or draw or play games, but I don't mind when she talks about it. The bell rang and I ran to class, but before I could go up the stairs I was completely knocked over. It was that girl I talked to a bit yesterday. I was a kind of dazed but I got up the stairs just to see her knock over another girl. I helped her up. Her name is Hirakumi and she doesn't really like music. After the first class I decided to talk to the girl that sits next to me. I was going to talk to Yuko when I saw her pull out a book, but as I walked past one of the girls called Ikebana unimportant and old, I had to say something. I was trying to show her how lovely Ikebana is when the girl I first tried to talk to came over talking about sports. Then another girl pushed me and I got really overwhelmed, so I moved over to Yuko. She tried to cheer me up with what I now get were jokes. But at the time I didn't realize. She let me hug her arm until I calmed down a bit. The girl that pushed me over was yelling at someone else for liking Ikebana, so I tried to educate her. Yuko attempted to change the topic when she saw me getting stressed again, but luckily the bell went and I ran off to class. I was pretty good at getting to my classes on time today. During the debate I had with the mean girl there was another girl defending Ikebana, and she was right behind me after gym, so I turned around and we both instantly started talking. Her name is Ayasada Yuriko. When I asked her about the girl we both debated with, Masate Kata, she ran right over. I think there's a saying for that. We kept trying to talk but Masate wanted to talk about sports. Then another girl pushed me so I went to Yuko for safety. I held her arm as people tried to butt in on our conversation, but guess what? Masate tried to steal from Yuko when we ignored her. Then Masate knocked her over. Yuko yelled at her and I noticed her tearing up. I reassured and complimented her, making sure she was alright before we went to class. While waiting for science, a ginger girl joined in on Yuko and I's conversation. Her name is Juzo Kuni and she was casually talking about books with us until she randomly brought up those rumors again. Yuko told me not to believe them. I guess I don't. I'm just very confused. I left school as soon as the bell went again, but this time it was because I had to buy more food. I left just as a bunch of people came in. Now I'm going to play some more games and do another commission. Today's been good despite getting pretty worked up. I'm just so happy I have Yuko. Dear Diary, no dream last night, but before school I read a romance manga. It had some pretty good lines in it. I wrote some down, but I don't know who I'll use them on. When I got to school, the girl with blue hair ran over to me, scoffed, then ran away. I went over to her and asked what was wrong, and she asked me why I had to show up at school today, which was weird because why wouldn't I? It's only the third day. I barely got time to respond before she ran away again. Yuko was watching Ayasada and Park argue, and after saying hello to me she kind of joined in. They agreed at one point but went back to putting each other down. It was weird. When Park left I tried to talk with Yuko and Ayasada. I thought I was doing badly until Yuko called me interesting. After a bit more talking I started listening in on Juzo and Masate's conversation. They were arguing but also standing really close together. Then they started to fight when the bell went, so I ran away. After gym I talked to Ayasada about Ikebana for a few minutes, then I decided to talk to a girl sitting on the stage. She doesn't like Ikebana but she does like music. I didn't get her name at first. It's Takafumi Yeiko, by the way, because I quickly went back to Yuko. We were talking happily, but when Juzo came over Yuko quickly said she had to go. I wanted to talk to Yuko but Juzo is nice too. During break I talked with Takafumi more. She doesn't like novels but she does like video games. At one point we were standing in the hallway and Masahide started stealing from Takafumi. I didn't know what to say so I just stared at her until she stopped. After English class I talked with both Yuko and Juzo, who both sit next to me. A fight started in the classroom and I hid behind Yuko. Even when the people fighting left, Yuko stayed with me until a teacher came and told us we had to get to class. After school I had to get more food. I think I probably should have brought more yesterday and today. I'm going to do the same thing again. Games and commissions, then bed. Besides, the 2 fights today was okay. Dear Diary, today is Friday, the last day of my first week. Even though it wasn't a real full week, I'm pretty proud of myself. I've got 109 more days left, but after the weekend it'll be 107. I'm going to read a manga now. I'll write after school. I'm back. I was a bit later than usual, so when I got to school everyone was going inside. I tried to talk to Yuko but she was with people I barely knew and I was really stressed. Out the front of the school I found Juzo and Park talking about books. I joined in and Juzo said some nice things about me. Then I spotted Takafumi watching us from a distance, so I ran over and started talking to her until my back started to ache. I went to the gym and did some stretches, when someone I've tried to talk to before ran over and stood over me. I got up and moved away a bit and she brought up statues smelling like dead bodies. I tried to talk about something else but she just got closer and stared into my eyes before walking off. It was pretty scaring. Luckily the bell went so I could go be with Yuko. Unfortunately that girl sits next to me, so I quickly went to the front of the class. While talking to Yuko I spotted Masatake stealing from another girl, so I went over and made a point to stare at her. Ayasada went and yelled at Masatake and the girl that was stolen from came and stood with me and Yuko. We talked until the next class. I tried to talk to that girl again but the blue-haired girl got so upset I was talking about books that she shoved me. I just wanted to be with Yuko but that creepy girl came over and started talking to me, making Yuko move away. I followed her over to Juzo but the girl followed too, and then Ayasada came over and when my back was turned she tried to steal from me. I tried to hide behind Yuko and lean against the wall but she kept inching closer to me. Then she made a joke to try and make herself look better. Luckily she left but I was so stressed. Juzo gave me a compliment to try and make me feel better. After math I went and told Yuko that Ayasada tried to steal from me, then we went on talking about something else. But everyone was moving around and then a fight started, so I went to Japanese early. I've already played a game before writing this and after I'm going to draw some more. Tomorrow I've got to buy more food, besides that I don't know what I'll do over the weekend. Dear Diary, last night I had a dream where I think I was in my mum's womb. It's weird now looking back on it. First thing I did after getting dressed was go to the shop. I hope I brought enough food this time. then I read another volume of a romance manga, I did some art, played some games, did stretches when my back started to hurt, did more art, and now I'm going to do one more drawing before going to bed. Dear Diary, I did not end up getting enough food. Monday afternoon I'll need to go back to the store. I really thought I brought enough this time. I started the day with a commission, then played some video games and read a manga before inviting Yuko over. She convinced me to do some exercises. Then we took turns playing video games for a few hours before she went home. She said she had a good time, but I wish she stayed longer. The sun was started to set and she did walk though. I did some more art to get enough money for rent. Now I'm going to play a game and shower before bed. Good night, Diary.
Hey, a new series, finally, am I right? I have no idea when this is coming out. This series was suggested by I Hate Tomatoes and U123, and here's something backing up the idea. I got the white hair, interest in music, art and video games. I took a bit of liberties with the tan skin. She was generated dark and it looked wrong when I tried to change it at the end. Problem with the eyes is there's no pink. No eye shape would make the red eyes pink. No eye shape would make the purple eyes pink, so I just went with purple since it fits her color palette, but it's pink in our hearts. As you can tell, this series is called Winter at Monorisu Daigaku and not Why Me, at least for now. I can't guarantee she'll be bullied so consistently that it will warrant the title being about that. I did generate 3 classes to make the one I ended with. I tried to choose quite a few character with low kindness and high confidence, but we'll see how it happens. I did generate specifically all girls, so that gender ratio pie chart is going to swing very heavily one way next time I update it. Anyway, I hope I've done you proud. I Hate Tomatoes. Stay safe, stay happy, please subscribe and goodbye.